Scorpios, I've been picking up on some individuals inside your energy who are about to face karma for their treatment of you. It's really that time of the year again, and it's also in the astrology. But this one's different, though. This is the kind of karma that is going to be loud. It's going to be something that is written all over their lives. It's as if the divine is spraying it across their foreheads, and they're the only ones who can't see it. What do we have at the foundation of the reading? Five of Wands, Leo energy at the foundation. Now, this is aligning perfectly with the opening message because the Five of Wands here is speaking about the individuals that created these obstacles and challenges in your life. And it's right there at the foundation of the reading. So there's something here I feel it has to do with family dynamics for a lot of you. And this can also be connected to a community that you're a part of at one point in time. But I feel that you've gotten to this point on your path where you're having a bit of a review. And I'm seeing the scales in my mind's eye right now. So what we're seeing here is an energy where individuals who made your path more difficult are being faced with karma, and you are in this energy of stability. And this is literally the scales rebalancing. And the reason why this is happening right now is because you are getting ready for the next evolution of your life. And you being the sign of transformation represented by the 8th house. And typically speaking, you're going to go through these transformations at least once a year, right? And once you get used to this, you welcome it. But what this sees you needing to do is strip away and release any sort of karmic baggage that may be connected to the previous cycle that you are now graduating on from. There's always a lesson to learn, and there's always a new evolution that you can step into. I was also getting some messages about a lot of you working through limiting beliefs right now. And of course, this goes without saying because this is really the admission fee into this next level. It's to say that you need to face some sort of limiting belief that you have about yourself to be able to access what the limiting belief is keeping you from. And again, I feel that these limiting beliefs are directly connected to all the people, places, and things that have set up these obstacles on your path. What do we have at the sacral, please, Spirit? Six of Wands, Leo energy at the sacral. Victory. Now, these two cards are a perfect representation of everything that we've channeled through so far. You overcome the obstacles with the Five of Wands at the foundation, and you step into the Six of Wands, victory at the sacral. Now, there's something here connected to your passions, and I'm hearing that you need to act on your passions for as long as you possibly can and take it as far as you can with zero expectations of the outcome. Now, what this really means is the universe wants you to pour yourself into what you are creating right now, and don't get hung up on there being a destination connected to this. Now, what this is really highlighting is you just getting in the flow with the universe and understanding that no matter how this turns out, it's going to benefit you. Now, this speaks perfectly about, again, being in the flow, but it also speaks about faith, right? See, our environments are made up of countless things that want to get us out of the flow. Now, these things can show up as temptations or, again, obstacles on our path. And when we start engaging with these particular things, this is when things start to come apart at the seams. So having said that, if you right now, in this very moment, Scorpio, are in some sort of turmoil, if you're facing some sort of obstacle in your life, stop, breathe, and get into a quiet space and listen to the universe. And what's the first thing you hear the universe telling you to do? Follow that voice until you realign with your path. But you also need to be able to discern from your inner voice and the noise in your environment. So we're getting into the weeds here now a bit, Scorpio, but this is all going back to the core theme of this reading, which is you preparing to have this level up. And although each and every one of you is going to be in a different part of this timeline, these are some of the basic tools that you can implement at any point of this path should you feel some of these energies trying to come up and create obstacles for you. Now, going back to what we were saying in regards to getting in the flow and knowing that no matter what happens, it's going to benefit you, there is something quite potent here that I'm getting in regards to what a lot of you are creating right now and the stripping away of these limiting beliefs and how all of these things are working in tandem right now. It's like you need to strip away some sort of limiting belief that you need to be somewhere by a certain amount of time and needs to look like this, and this level of success needs to be attained from this passion, from this creation. See, that right there is a limiting belief, right? When you are truly passionate about something and you feel that it's absolutely aligned with who you are and what you're meant to do in this life cycle, you strip away anything that needs to dictate what this is going to look like. The very moment you're engaging with this passion is enough. And if that turns into some sort of success, then that's an added bonus. And this is when you truly master embodying your passions, right? Embodying your passions is going to look like you stripping away any expectations of it. You just are it. And the universe is going to respond to that the way the universe does. And if I was to really simplify what we're trying to extract here for you, it's that you need to be very mindful of how your environment is trying to influence how you show up whilst interfacing with that passion. What do we have? The solar plexus, please. 4 of Pentacles, Capricorn energy at the solar plexus. Perfect. This just followed everything we said, because the 4 of Pentacles is an energy that is gripping onto something too tightly. It's to say that there's an energy here that is gripping too tightly to the outcome of something. And we have death right there, right? So you represent death in the tarot, right? Or death represents you, rather, in the tarot. It's an energy of bringing an ending to something, transforming something, and using it to empower you rather than restrict you. And that's all showing up at the solar plexus, which is all about your confidence. So this is a message right here, again, that is saying, hey, just be confident in the knowing that this is the energy that you're supposed to be in right now. And just get in the flow and allow the universe to arrange things for you behind the scenes and get you where it thinks you would be best suited, which is all determined by the frequency that you are emitting inside of that space where you are interfacing with that manifestation. Right? So again, if you're in the energy of this needs to be this way, this needs to have this amount of success connected to it, you're pushing it further away from you. Okay? And I get this can be very challenging, but once you really figure this out, and once you get inside this flow state, which a lot of the times is going to be found by clearing out all the noise in your environment, which goes back to what I said about environmental factors trying to influence this, right? So if you're able to nurture your connection with Source, quiet your environment so you can communicate with the divine and receive the downloads, right? You need to become the vessel. Then you are going to begin embodying what this passion is right here. See, when we have so much noise around us, when we have all these toxic energies that are trying to project these limiting beliefs onto us, it makes it very difficult for us to get in tune with our higher self and receive the downloads in the manner we're meant to receive them. A lot of the times they get filtered through this noise and we don't hear things as clear as we could. So having said all this, Scorpio, this whole reading here is speaking about the need for you to release control around some sort of passion, some sort of creative energy that is being beamed down to you right now. And there's all these environmental factors that are trying to influence this. So it's your job as a vessel to do the necessary clearing work so you're able to receive these downloads as the divine intended you to receive them. What do we have at the heart, please, Spirit? Wheel of Fortune in reverse at the heart. Very interesting. And again, this is following everything we channeled through all the way back at the beginning of the reading, because the Wheel of Fortune in reverse is highlighting some sort of negative external forces inside your environment that are trying to create stress and instability so you're not able to focus on what you're pulling through right now. And see how when the Wheel of Fortune is in reverse, the devil is on the top of the wheel, right? As opposed to on the bottom of the wheel. And this is also making me think about what I said in regards to the scales in my mind's eye, right? The scales tipping, which is further confirming what's taking place inside your energy in regards to people facing karma, right? The scales tipping here. So this right here is an awareness This right here is highlighting to you what's going on inside your energy and what you need to do at this time to assist the universe in pushing this energy through. And again, I'm hearing about this limiting belief, okay? And this is very clear with that Four of Pentacles and Wheel of Fortune in reverse. It's like you still are holding on to some sort of limiting belief about yourself, which is all a projection from these obstacles and challenges that these individuals brought into your life. And this is something that I was mentioning in the most recent collective reading. I mentioned in that reading that sometimes these limiting beliefs can be so deeply ingrained, right? Especially when they're things that we were taught right back in our childhood, that we don't even know they're there. But the universe is trying to assist you right now into unearthing these things. The best thing, really the only thing you can do during this process goes back to what I said about clearing out your environment of noise, right? See, the most important thing is getting into a flow state and getting into a space where you have peace so you can actually hear what's going on. You can hear yourself communicating with the divine. You can start clearing out any of the clutter and noise that doesn't belong to you, right? See, when we're surrounded by so much chaos in our environments, which we're all dealing with this on a daily basis because of the way this world is constructed and the way our environments are built, we have all of these things that are bombarding us from all these different directions. We start hearing all these different voices inside our minds, which are an accumulation of all the things that we pick up in our everyday waking lives. And these things don't belong to us, but the downloads we're receiving all the while can filter through these distractions and muddy the waters, right? This is when we start to feel confused. We start to feel disconnected. We start to feel like we're not in a flow state. And this is because you need to do clearing, Scorpio. And you know, Scorpios are hypersensitive to others' thought projections. Even when people aren't in your environment, if you have family members out there on the other side of the world that are thinking negatively of you, you'll start to pick up on that. You'll start to feel these thought projections, and they'll show up as you feeling insecure or you holding yourself back, or all of a sudden you feel some limiting belief from the past trying to creep back into your timeline. Maybe you're starting to worry about things. And the Scorpio energy is a blessing and a curse. The blessing is learning how to master the curse. And the curse is the fact that you are hypersensitive to energies everywhere, especially those that are connected to you by blood, right? All the limiting beliefs that were projected onto you, all the things that you have had to fight a lifetime to overcome will constantly try to repeat on you. To master the Scorpio energy is like becoming a Buddhist monk mixed with a ninja. That's literally your energy, Scorpio. But being that all of you are perpetually under attack, whether it's spiritual attacks or people's just thought projections, it's like you need to go through an annual review to remind you about everything you have overcome to get to this very moment. It's like the universe saying, hey, Scorpio, come sit down. Okay, I just heard flashpoint. And I'm getting this analogy about the universe sitting you down and you having a sort of annual life review, just to remind you how far you've come and where you're at in this very moment. It's like you pour every ounce of yourself into what you are focused on and working on in the moment, that sometimes you forget what it took to get to that very space. And when you have these annual reviews with the divine, right, when you have this flash of your life, everything you've gone through, it's like you're sitting there going, oh yeah, I went through that, huh? Wow. Crazy. See, again, it goes back to your archetype. You embody transformation. That's who you are. You embody death and rebirth, death to the old, and to focus on what's new. So when you are functioning at your highest, 100% of you is completely consumed by the transformation in the moment. But there's something here, Scorpio, about what you're creating right now and you having this flashpoint remembrance of what you had to go through to get to this space. And I feel that this is taking place right now because there's something you need to extract from your path, from these obstacles, to give the creation life. I feel that this is just another way of saying, put what you've gone through into what you are creating. And everything I just channeled through there is the Wheel of Fortune in reverse before you bring it into an upright. The Wheel of Fortune upright represents your big picture vision. This is you taking your struggles and turning it into your success, whatever that means for you. And Your destiny is connected to this. Of course, it goes without saying. It always is for Scorpios. Your purpose, your destiny, your mission in this life cycle is directly connected to all the struggles that you have had to go through to get to this very moment. What do we have at the throat, please, Spirit? Wow. Ace of Pentacles at the throat, and there it is. There's the manifestation. Incredible. Scorpio, there's something here you're creating that is going to allow you to position yourself to make a real world impact in not only your life, but the lives of others. And that is the most successful path that you can choose to take, one that's in service to you and one that's in service to others. The universe will always support this. If you can figure out how to extract all of these obstacles, all these challenges, all these struggles, all these lonely nights, all these rock bottom endings, and you can turn it into empowerment for not only yourself, but for other individuals who the universe brings across your path, you will succeed. And I'm also hearing something here about it being time to reinvent yourself, which is just another way of speaking about going through the 8th house of death and rebirth, right? It's like you're ready again for the next evolution. There's something different about you, Scorpio, and the universe is trying to I just heard the universe is trying to calibrate you to those differences. It's like there's been subtle tweaks inside your auric field, and now the universe is preparing you for the next version of you. Okay, I'm hearing something here about the universe upgrading your vessel. Very interesting. Okay, I just heard shedding skin. That really says it all, right? That's where you're at right now. You're shedding skin. And Scorpio, we can't ignore the fact that that Ace of Pentacles, that manifestation, is right there at the throat. Communication. Something you are doing or going to do is directly connected to communication. This is where your life purpose, your path, is taking you to right now. Whatever that means for you. Whether you've already been in that space and you're preparing for a new level, or you're just now starting out in your path and this is where the universe is trying to take you. Again, going back to what I said, you're going to be on all different parts of this journey, but there's a level up here. Some of you might be feeling, I'm hearing, a little bit out of sorts, and I feel this all has to do with the upgrades. There could be some self-doubt associated with this as well. And I just basically described the rebirthing process, right? It's not comfortable. It's not the universe wrapping you in a warm, fuzzy blanket, bouncing you around on marshmallow clouds, okay? The process sees you feeling uncertain. You may even feel uncertain about your future, like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this, right? There's this energy here where the universe is stripping you down to bare bones and building you back up, but spiritually speaking. And during this process, you're going to be flooded with self-doubt. And again, all of these things are directly connected to the limiting beliefs. So a lot of these things that I feel that you may be facing right now are things you've already overcome on your path, and now there's this review, right? Hey, Scorpio, remember when you had this limiting belief? We've just found some of that residual limiting belief swimming around in your auric field, so we need to work through that right now because it's going to help us clear the space and lighten you of any sort of baggage so we can elevate you even higher, right? Now, this is another way of saying that you feel a dip in your energy before you have the next level up, which is something that I always speak about in my readings, right? And this is very true. You could be preparing for some sort of transformation, right? But right before the transformation, it almost feels like there's this big lull that you experience, however that shows up for you, Scorpio. If you own your own business, okay? It could show up as you all of a sudden having a big dip in sales. But that dip in sales works as motivation to implement the changes for the level up, right? See, the universe is genius the way it works. And when you're going through this, it's very hard to see what's going on. It takes getting on the other side of it, and you look back and go, oh yeah, makes perfect sense, right? But as time goes on, you do get used to this because you're going to experience it again. It's just something that is integrated into a Scorpio's path. You're always going to be going through the death and rebirth process. It becomes second nature the more you experience this. It doesn't mean that it becomes comfortable. It just means that you have a good idea of what to expect. But Scorpio, The key here is reinvention, right? That's what you get access to that no other zodiac sign can access in the way that you do. You get to constantly reinvent yourself. And the reason why you get access to this and why other zodiac signs don't, because you're the only one that can handle the death and rebirth process. And we all know how hard it was for you to get to the point where you can actually say that. What do we have at the third eye, please? Ace of Swords. Air energy at the third eye. 2 aces in a row, Scorpio. Now we have 2 cards of victory on the table. 6 of Wands and the Ace of Swords. That Ace of Swords is at the third eye, which is telling me that your intuition right now is clear. I just heard clear channel, right? And this is all the result of you removing yourself from any environments where there's this excessive noise and distraction, right? So that's confirming what I said about the need for you to find yourself in peace so you can hear yourself communicate with the divine. The divine is preparing to drop some new ideas onto you, Scorpio, right? This is when you become the vessel. This is when you understand. This is when you find this crown, right? The crown is just representing the ideas, right? Also represented by the sword that the universe gives you so you can step into some sort of power or leadership position here. Simply put, the ideas lead to the positioning in whatever the manifestation Ace of Pentacles represents for you and your path. The Ace of Swords at that third eye position is also speaking about you understanding what is yours and what is not yours. And this goes back to what I said about the thought projections, right? Oh, where did that limiting belief come from? Oh, that's not mine. That's somebody else's. That's a projection, right? See, when you're able to understand how the thought projections work and you're able to separate what's yours and what's not yours, you will start to bring forward manifestations quicker, right? Because you're not allowing some sort of projection, some sort of limiting belief to consume you and slow you down on your path, right? The devil is the thief of time, and this is what this is all about. The devil shows up incrementally, and it usually comes down to the life clock minutes, right? Each second that the devil can take from you where you're not focusing on your path in this manifestation is a win for the devil. So don't forget that, Scorpio. What do we have at the crown, please? 9 of Pentacles, Virgo energy at the crown. Perfect. And this is the culmination. I feel that a lot of you are preparing to step into a timeline where you feel more supported, Scorpio. There's also something here surrounding visual manifestation. I feel that a lot of you have been really focused on trying to bring something forward into your life. I feel it has something to do with your environment. Some of you could have literally been trying to manifest a new home or some sort of assistance and or support from the universe to bring forward this manifestation. It's like saying, okay, this is what I want to do, but in order to do this, I'm going to need this, that, and the other. And so you have been working in this space with the universe to bring this forward, and now it's here, or now it's on its way. And Scorpio, this is actually the result of this releasing work, right? Of everything we've channeled through here. It's like the universe saying, okay, we got you, Scorpio. You've done the work there now. Now we're able to level you up and give you this assistance that you need to expand even further. See, your energy is that of great expansion. There is no end to it. So it's like saying that once you reach a point in your life where you feel pretty comfortable, maybe you've manifested everything into your material reality that you ever wanted to manifest, the universe says, hey, there's more where that came from, Scorpio, right? The whole entire point of the Scorpio energy is to see how far you can take it. It's not about greed. It's not about the accumulation of a bunch of things. Sure, all of that's connected to it because we live in a tactile world. But the real point of all of this is to understand how powerful you really are. And not from a place of ego, but from a place of embodying what the universe always intended for you to hold. Because you are an example. That's what this is always about. Being an inspiration, helping lift up other people, showing people what's possible. You hold that blueprint energy, Scorpio. And your humble nature, while you hold that energy, is exactly why it was always intended for you. What do we have at the foundation of the reading, please? Wow. Five of Pentacles right underneath that Five of Wands. And we literally have spoken this card into existence. This Five of Pentacles represents the obstacles that these energies, this Five of Wands, placed on your path to make your life more difficult. This is those limiting beliefs. This is those projections. This is the, I don't think I can do that. You can't do that, Scorpio. That's not who you're meant to be. That's not for you. You can't access that. Who do you think you are? You need to come down off your high horse. That crown's not for you. This manifestation's not for you. This expansion, you can't access that, right? This is what the Five of Pentacles is representing here. And this confirms everything that we channeled through on this top row, going all the way back to the intro, to be true. But this is all going back to its source, Scorpio. These individuals literally dream about you giving up, and this has consumed their entire life. It's who they are now. They embody the frequency of failure, and it's hungry for more souls. That's why you can feel it. And that's why we're channeling through the message of you needing to decipher what is yours and what is not yours, because you're picking up on this. And right on the bottom of the deck, we have the Justice card, okay? So Justice obviously represents the scales, okay? But this particular Justice card is justice in its shadow. It's an energy that thinks it's unfair. It's an energy of shame. It's an energy that's lacking accountability. And this is exactly what these individuals are being faced with right now. And this is an exact representation of the energy that I'm getting from these people. They think it's unfair that you get to experience this new life. They know all the struggles you've been through, but they just can't quite process that maybe the universe is using you as an example. Maybe they should look to you as more of an inspiration instead of somebody that they should try and tear down. But no, they just refuse to take any sort of accountability for their actions. Sure, Scorpio, they have regret that they didn't get away with it. What do we have, the sacral, please? The Sun, Leo energy, underneath that Six of Wands, Leo energy at the sacral. Now, this Sun card is further reiterating what we're picking up from the projections. This is an energy that is trying to affect your focus. It's an energy that wants you to doubt that you're on the right path, or this is for you, or you're connected to the divine the way you know yourself to be, right? There's this war between what you know to be true on an intuitive level and what these individuals want you to actually believe. This all comes down to faith, Scorpio. This is really your only armor, right? That despite what these individuals place on your path, you remain 100% confident that the messages and guidance that you have been receiving are correct. And again, this is going back to being able to decipher what's yours and what's not. This is all speaking about these projections, right? Bombarding you with these distractions. You know, some of you are dealing with an uptick in these distractions, and it's because there's a breakthrough that's preparing to happen for you. Pay attention to this, right? It's like, oh my God, why does it feel like everything's falling apart? Why does it feel like there's all these obstacles here? Why does it feel like the universe is working against me right now? Well, Scorpio, all I can tell you there is that that feeling of things falling apart is true. The reality that you are in, the environment you are in, is being dismantled by the universe. But it's more the universe saying to you, hey, Scorpio, we're dismantling all this. We're blowing it up. It's time to prepare that escape plan. We're not working against you. We're working for you. See, but these energies will want you to think otherwise. They'll want you to think that you're doing something wrong. This is when you start getting bombarded with gaslighting, right? Which gaslighting is just a process where they get you to question your own reality, right? Makes perfect sense in the context of the core message here. They want you to question your own reality, like you must be crazy, right? What do we have, the solar plexus, please? Wow. Two of Pentacles, Capricorn energy, red in its shadow, underneath that Four of Pentacles at the solar plexus. Now, the Two of Pentacles from this deck is an energy of instability and disorder. And it's right underneath that Four of Pentacles. So not only is that disorder obviously directly connected to these opposing energies here, but the disorder is also connected to this limiting belief, right? What you're holding on to, what you're gripping too tightly to, right? Which is why death is here, Death is saying, let go of that, okay? You don't even realize that when you grip onto this too tightly, you're underneath this dark cloud here. And all of this is an influence of these obstacles that these individuals have placed on your path, right? And I feel that that's just a metaphorical representation of the limiting belief, which is also integrating itself into you trying to control the outcome of something, right? And this is a very clear example of how there's levels to all of this. What do we have at the heart, please, Spirit? Okay, there's two sides to this card. We're going to start on that side first. Hierophant, Taurus energy. It says right there, theft and destruction, right? Right underneath that Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Now, the Hierophant in the Wheel of Fortune here is giving me a black sheep energy. It's like you're pushing back against some sort of system of control. It's like you're rebelling against some supposed authority in your life, somebody who thinks that they have some sort of control over you. In other words, it's like saying you're pushing back against some sort of societal norm or what's expected of you, right? Which is why you're being singled out here to begin with. Again, black sheep energy, okay? It's all over this reading, and it doesn't surprise me. The Scorpio archetype from the ground up is a perfect embodiment of the black sheep. You're doing something here that nobody else has done, and that's why this is such a big problem, right? They hate you for being the one that was brave enough to actually do this. And then we have the Knight of Swords, air energy. Now, the Knight of Swords here is the energy of the soldier, okay? Which also goes without saying because that's also who you are, Scorpio. It's like you are a soldier for the divine. You hold the energy of the black sheep. You carve out a path where a path has never existed before. You set the standard. You become the inspiration. Knight of Swords is also an energy of lifestyle changes, okay? So it's like you're just doing things differently. You're not interested in being a part of whatever this is over here. A lot of you tried to fit in, right? This is the cycles that most of you had to go through when you were younger. You always felt like the oddball, or you may have always felt like people thought you were strange or something, right? And you are the oddball. You are strange in comparison to them, right? Because you're nothing like them. So if that's what makes you strange, then so be it. Gladly accepted. The whole key here is to be anything other than who they are. What do we have at the throat, please? There it is, Justice. Libra energy at the throat. So another card that we spoke into existence. There's the scales. And see how she's blindfolded, right? Justice is blind, which is to say that it doesn't matter who these people were in your life, whether they're family members, people in your community, friends, whoever it is, you're basing them on their treatment towards you. You're not giving them a pass because they're blood related. You're not overlooking their crappy treatment of you and probably other people because of who they are in your life. It doesn't matter if they were once some sort of authority. It doesn't matter if they were your parents. It doesn't matter if they were your older sibling. You judge people based on their treatment of you, period. Sometimes the most wicked people will hide behind a title. No, that's not how this works. And they're the only one making those rules. So again, Scorpio, it's up to you to base people on their treatment of you and others. Those scales of justice are right underneath that Ace of Pentacles. And this particular Ace of Pentacles, it's like the divine saying, hey, Scorpio, this is what you need to do. We're going to be keeping this safe for you, right? We're going to hold on to this for you. Right? And see how they're dangling the coin over the path? But Scorpio, you got to come down this path here. Can't engage with these energies. This is the way towards this blessing, towards this manifestation. This is how it's done. This way and this way only. And it says right there, makes truth known in court, causes innocence to prevail. Now, makes truth known in court, the court is your life, okay? What you know to be true, what you've experienced on your path. And causes innocence to prevail, this is you coming out the other end, having overcome these horrendous struggles, these obstacles that they placed on your path, and being a living inspiration for others. What do we have at the third eye, please, Spirit? Five of Wands, Leo energy at the third eye. Perfect. Five of Wands, Five of Wands. This Five of Wands is different, though. This is the universe assisting you in bringing balance and harmony to these areas of your life where these individuals bombarded you with obstacles, distractions, noise, chaos. And see how that's all there at the third eye, right? Mental clarity and harmony, which goes back to what we said about your need for peace so you can hear the voice of the divine, right? Third eye energy, right? Where you receive your downloads, your visions, your ideas. All right, what do we have at the crown to close this out for Scorpio, please, Spirit? Five of Pentacles, Taurus energy at the crown to close out the reading. Five of Wands, Five of Pentacles. Five of Wands, Five of Pentacles. But these are different energies. These are in their positive polarity. So this is you healing those limiting beliefs. This is you overcoming the obstacles and the chaos, again, that these individuals are trying to project into your life. This is you understanding what is yours and what is not yours. This Five of Pentacles here is representing you overcoming the spiritual poverty that these individuals have been trying to project into your life for God knows how long. And now, because you are able to discern clear enough of what's yours and what's not, the universe is opening up the door. All of the things that we spoke about going all the way back to the beginning of the reading, you have addressed, closed out, and conquered, and are now ready to step into this new timeline, Scorpio. So however this may be showing up in your everyday waking life right now, I hope that this message here provides you with the confirmations you need. So stay focused, stay connected, and hold the line, Scorpio. Hold the line. All right, Scorpios, this is what I have for all of you. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. If you took something useful from this reading, I hope you'll consider giving it a hype, as it will help get the video into the algorithm, and it's a great support for my channel. Now, there are a few different ways that you can go about supporting me if you like. I do have the membership section of my channel open. We just launched a second tier over there, which gives you a weekly video, and it's very reasonably priced, well worth the content. There's already a ton of content over there. So if that's something you're interested in, you can find the links down below. I also have my online store at PLUTOBEANstudio.com, and I'm still running a 15% off sale. I'm preparing to launch a new season of items in the next month or so. So get over there while I still have the sale going on and see if there's something you like. Everything over there are extensions of the creative output of my channel. I would also like to thank everybody who donates to my channel. Your donations are greatly appreciated, and they help keep my channel going and growing. Also, I do have some limited spots for personal readings open. All that information can be found down below. But in closing, I would like to know how this reading resonated with you. So drop me a heart and or a comment down below, and I'll speak to you again soon. Take care.